So it's just before 8 a.m. now on Friday, June 21st, 2024. A lot has gone on this afternoon, and I unfortunately found myself not being able to leave due to having to wait for maintenance to show up, leave several voicemails for the Greenville group, and keep going in and out of my unit to get rid of the smoke and fumes that are constantly filling this area and this corner from the bathroom of Unit 78, where Greenville is basically paying a psychopath to engage in constant disruptive attention-seeking behavior that is also physically harmful. And one of the things that the psychopath Jasmine Irizarry has been doing from behind this wall directly against my sink for 10 years now is making slamming and banging noises whenever I approach the wall and stand at this sink, and then deliberately propagate intense amounts of marijuana smoke and cigar smoke through this wall from the bathroom of 78 that do not ever come from the hallway. This suddenly stopped happening at around 4:30 this afternoon, 5 maybe, after I'd reported it several times to the Greenville group. But then right around that time, as I reported in a video that I made, Irizarry stopped her smoking and propagation activities and resumed her use of some type of electronic assault device that has been literally physically electronically assaulting me for the last 3 hours. So I've been doing some cleaning and organizing. I'm actually looking for some stuff that I purchased a few days ago that seems to have gone missing mysteriously from the bags that I left on this table just a couple days ago. Those items are gone, and I've been looking in bags and under my sink. There's like literally a flood under my sink because apparently the sink is leaking. There's also rodents, and I found a bunch of rodent droppings under my sink, and the fridge is leaking because of the excessive heat. But why I'm making this video right now is that the weather is completely insane. This morning, it was super sunny, clear, and like 90 degrees. It was super hot and 90 degrees all the way through around like 3 p.m. when it suddenly got really cold and windy. It dropped down to 71 degrees. I actually checked the weather because I thought that somebody was blasting air conditioning. I mean, it got so cold in here. I was like, is somebody turning on the AC? No, the temperature outside literally went to 71 degrees from 91 degrees within just a few hours. However, the skies remained clear up until about 2 hours ago when it suddenly started getting cloudy. And now we're having intense amounts of rain and wind. So I've actually had to close my window, and thunder. We've also had rain, wind, and thunder. And the rain was really intense. You could actually hear it out in the hallway pounding on the roof of the building. You can't hear it in here for some reason. But as you can see, for all practical purposes, it's raining. I could stick the camera out the window, show you that it's raining, but it's raining, right? So this weather has gone from hot, dry, excessively stifling 91 degrees this morning to almost autumn-like 71 and very windy and cool, but clear at around 3 p.m. And now it's gotten muggy and it's raining like crazy, and it seems to have gotten warmer once again, which often happens if you have a cloud cover. So the weather today is completely schizophrenic. Am I schizophrenic for reporting that the weather is schizophrenic? No, of course not. The weather is crazy. I mean, you have tornadoes, you have hurricanes. You'll wake up one morning and it's nice and sunny. And then, of course, then a few hours later, you're having thunderstorms or maybe a blizzard, right? I mean, the weather is crazy. Are you crazy for reporting the weather when it's crazy? No, of course not. But the stupid, low-life retards who deliberately harass my channel because they have nothing else to do, it's always the same group of psycho trolls. It's never anybody new. It's never anybody making actual intelligent comments. It's just the same group of low-life scum because they live in this building. And one of those low-life scum is Irizarry, the psychopath herself. She just doxed herself as Jane Doe on YouTube. And the reason that I know that is because my phone screen showed a message from Jane Doe on YouTube. And I immediately pushed it aside. I literally shoved it off of my screen because I know who Jane Doe is. Jane Doe is Irizarry. And while I was standing here deleting the comment, Irizarry the psycho who likes to sit behind this wall and engage in disruptive, desperate, attention-seeking behavior because she's a mentally disturbed reject, suddenly zapped me really, really hard with her directed energy device. Irizarry, according to her handler, Mr. Oleg Aleseyev at the Greenville Group, is a talented cyber criminal who, quote, as he put it, can take care of anything and she can get into anything. So, that means that whatever I'm doing on my phone at any given moment, Irizarry has the ability to know that. She also obviously uses surveillance devices in this unit and is a miserable piece of shit. She also goes by Jane Doe, and her comments are always the same. So I delete them. I don't even read them anymore. They don't add information to what I already know. And she literally just flew at me with her directed energy weapon while I was standing here. These things exist. You can actually make your own. Your phone can be turned into a directed energy weapon if you want it to. Oh God, now she's doing this? Yeah, the psycho, miserable reject, career thug, criminal, pervert. Irizarry is literally zapping me right now with her directed energy device. And again, directed energy devices, as I keep reporting, are much more commonly used than people realize because your cell phone can be used as a directed energy device. If you know how to concentrate the EMFs that your cell phone emits into a directed beam, then you can turn your cell phone into a directed energy weapon, you pathetic idiots. So it's not so far-fetched that Irizarry, who claims to be an IT expert and who her handlers at the Greenville Group have told me is a talented cyber criminal, who herself claims to be an engineer, then she can probably not just obtain or get her hands on a directed energy device, she can probably make her own or turn her own devices, right, such as a cell phone or a router, into directed energy devices. And as I was deleting the comment from Jane Doe, because Jane Doe is Irizarry, and Irizarry is a miserable psycho stalker who has nothing constructive or interesting to say, she literally slammed me with a blast from her directed energy device that felt like a full body electrical shock. And that is how I know that I'm right. For weeks, I've been suspecting that Beatcat, the psycho creep, who's also himself schizophrenic. I'm not schizophrenic, and that's a verifiable medical scientific fact. I don't even remotely meet any of the diagnostic criteria for schizophrenia. And anybody who thinks that I do is just retarded and probably didn't make it out of 8th grade. The Beatcat psycho thug directly below 76 is themselves qualifying as a severely disturbed mental nut job. I don't think he has schizophrenia, though, but he's clearly compulsively violent. He's got some serious attachment issues. He makes repeated over and over and over the same comments on all of my videos. He makes like 3, 4, sometimes 5 comments at a time on the same video. See, that's how you know somebody is severely disturbed. I have not once responded to Beatcat's comments on any of my videos for months now because I quickly realized Beatcat is a psycho violent thug directly below 76. And Beatcat proves my case by repeatedly making 3, 4, sometimes 5 comments in a row on my videos. That's the equivalent of somebody coming up to your door, knocking on your door, and you answer it and then you close it. You're like, I'm not interested. And then they knock on your door, and then they knock on your door, and they knock on your door. Well, that's what Beatcat has been doing physically at my door for 2 years now. He's come up to this door on multiple occasions and become violent and aggressive for absolutely no reason and slam things against the door. He kind of does the same thing to my YouTube videos, and that's how I know it's the same person. And Jane Doe is Irizarry, as I suspected weeks ago, and now I'm right. Anyway, the weather's really cool. I love interesting weather, and today has certainly been, never a dull moment in terms of the weather. Also with the psycho thugs all in all 3 adjacent units to mine. Never a dull moment there either, but they're pieces of low-life scum that try really, really hard to affect me in some way. And the only thing that they're doing is helping me win my case against the landlord. Because when the landlord deliberately places aggressive, disturbed, verifiably, behaviorally dysregulated inmates from the Massachusetts prison system or from the Department of Public Health or Department of Mental Health, as all 3 of the psycho creep thug perverts in 78, 76, and 88 verifiably are, then your landlord, by deliberately placing those psycho creep rejected pieces of low-life scum in all 3 adjacent units is creating a very dangerous and hazardous living situation for you, especially if they happen to be using surveillance devices in your living space, as multiple police detectives have confirmed to me in person since 2020. And especially if your landlord is not just using surveillance devices, but then distributing the footage of you using your bathroom to the sex offenders, psychopaths, and scum in all of the adjacent units to yours in the building. And then you keep getting aggressively harassed and confronted, such as a psycho thug directly below, by these violent, low-life scum who confront you about things that you do or say or have in the privacy of your apartment that they should have no knowledge of. That's what's happening. And these retarded, low-life, desperate rejects are too stupid to realize that they're actually assisting my case against the landlord by repeatedly proving the use of surveillance devices in this unit. And not just the use, because you can use surveillance devices and then keep the footage to yourself. You don't have to do anything with the footage. You can ignore the footage completely. There's security cameras and surveillance cameras sitting all over the place that nobody probably even knows are there, right? So it's one thing to have surveillance devices in a living space. It's another thing to live stream the personal and private hygiene activities of someone using their toilet, as keeps happening. And that's why I keep getting aggressively harassed, not just by the psycho pervert in 78 who likes to sit in the bathroom behind that wall and smoke intense amounts of marijuana and cigar smoke when I try to shower or use the toilet. All of a sudden, there's smoke filling my bathroom and my kitchen area, and she makes smacking noises behind that wall. But also the psycho creep in 88, the compulsive masturbating stalker nut job named Kevin, who also doesn't stop repeatedly making these retarded, ignorant, completely useless comments on all of my videos. And the landlord also live streams my personal bathroom activities to the violent thug directly below in 76, who has personally come up to my door and confronted me about parts of my anatomy he should have no knowledge of. And he was actually really angry that I have legs that are shaped like a man's, that I have hair on my face, which my face has never gone anywhere near that piece of shit. So how he knows I have hair on my face? Well, it can only be through the use of surveillance devices in this unit. Maybe they placed a little microdot on the front of my phone. That's how they know I have hair on my face, right? There's probably something on the screen of my phone that allows them to look at my face up close. I think I'm right. And how does he know I have bad skin and hairy legs? He shouldn't have any knowledge of that stuff. And he actually was stupid enough to come up to my door 2 months ago and confront me in front of my door about my body parts. That's how you know that you're right, folks. That's how you know that you're right. And I'm always right. So Jane Doe is Irizarry the psychopath, rejected pervert piece of shit. Kevin is the psycho masturbating creep in 88. And Beat Cat is the violent, mentally disturbed stalker nut job from 76 below, who has repeatedly come up to my door and confronted me about stuff that I say and do and have in the privacy of this unit. Anyway, back to the weather. Today's June 21st. It's a summer solstice. Does it look like summer out there right now? Not really, but the weather has been completely schizophrenic once again. And does that mean that I am schizophrenic for noticing it? Of course not. Hot and dry and 91 degrees up until about 2:30 p.m. Then at 2:30 p.m., it got really cool and really windy, but stayed clear and sunny. It went down to about 70 degrees. Then it kind of went back up, and then you got like these sudden outbursts of rain and thunder that still seem to be happening right now. It's kind of interesting. I like it. I'll go with it.